And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Day 1 continuing coverage of the Norm Stewart Classic live from Mizzou Arena on the campus of University of Missouri in Columbia. And we have this game coming up here in just a few moments. School of the Osage taking on Dixon. Mike Goss along with Corey Riggs. Glad you could join us for the broadcast. Day 1 will continue with a lot of really compelling matchups later on this afternoon. If you'd like to look at the schedule and also find out how you can get tickets or see how you can watch this on our videos, go to normstewart.org. Corey, this is a fun matchup. Two schools, they're not too far apart, and they played each other last year. A close game that went to overtime, and it was won by Dixon.
Yeah, you're talking about two teams that are familiar with one another, Mike. So to get an opportunity to play in this environment on this floor maybe elevates the moment for everybody. Dixon off to a great start this year, a 6-0 start. Meanwhile, the Osage Indians doing well as well, 3 wins against just 1 loss.
And they have a situation with a new coach this year, but he's kind of a legacy coach in a way. Jeff Henshaw, the son of Kelly Henshaw, who took a team to the Final Four in '91 for School of the Osage, took 3rd place, won over Mexico in that game. And you mentioned the Dixon Bulldogs. They've got a lot of talent returning from a good team last year down in the Frisco League, and they've won over Salem, Steelville, which is always a good program. Also Newburgh, Plato, and Stoutland to get themselves to 5-0. And Osage had a pretty good week at the Eugene tournament last week as well. We're set around the circle. We're set for the start of this afternoon's game. Blake Harrison will jump it off with number 14, and that's Tommy McBride. Ball in the air and controlled by Osage, but picked up by Dixon, goes into the backcourt, and that's over and back.
You don't see that combination on an opening tip-off very often to win the tip and end up in backcourt.
That'll get you in the game real quick here when you're announcing, but the officials all over it. Ball inbounded by Landon Childs, outstanding football player for School of the Osage as well. Ball reversed around and stripped away and then saved in the backcourt by DePay. DePay works down the lane, sidestep move, kick out on the wing. Short jumper up for Northrop, won't go. Good inside position by Harrison. Stick back high off the glass, won't go. And a rebound taken down. A kid hit in the mouth, I think, for Dixon. That's Drew Young.
Yeah, just kind of one of those in tight rebounding battles, and the ball was he was almost up to the shot clock, which is fun to say here today because through the first 3 games, Mike, we've probably had 3 shot clock violations.
That's going to take a little getting used to at the high school level, I have to admit. Man-to-man defense for School of the Osage for Jeff Henshaw again in his first year. Pass broken up in the lane by DePay and saved by John Kramer, a junior at 5'11". He'll reset the offense. Good back pick. Beats his man off the dribble. A little sidestep move and the shot a little long. Offensive rebound, but not controlled. And it goes back to School of the Osage. No score. 55 seconds into this game. School of the Osage will play the second game. The ladies will. And they'll take on Fox High School.
Always one of my favorite things that Brad Hayes and the folks here at the Norm Stewart Classic do in this one is if you can get both teams, boys and girls, into it, play them back-to-back, give the student body a chance to be there and root on both teams.
Maverick Trustees 3 won't go. Sidestep move and a foul outside on Drew Young. I believe that's the first foul of the contest.
Drew Young, an all-conference, all-district, versatile 6'1" guard for Dixon. Of course, garnered those 2 awards and then some a season ago. Mike, you're going to have to explain to me what DePay's deal is. Why is he the only guy without a headband on the floor for the Indians?
He lost the lottery, I guess. I don't know.
And he also lost the basketball.
Drew Young in the corner. Now here's a 3 up short. Caught in midair. Stick back McBride. Finally gets one of the teams on the board. Dixon has the first basket of the contest.
Tommy McBride, another all-conference, all-district standout, 13 points per game a year ago.
Maverick Trustee's shot won't go. 2-year starting quarterback for the Indians. Past 2 seasons, won a game in district. Working down the lane, a strip and a steal by Northrop. Or Harrison, I should say. DePay, a little shuffle step to the basket, won't go. Stick back shot blocked nicely by McBride. Loose on the sideline, picked up there by Kramer. Dixon wants to run, leading here 2-0.
Maverick Yoakum wanted to keep the ball moving north and south, but nobody caught up yet. as the start of this game maybe has all the alacrity of an unfolding lawn chair, partner. It just hasn't been very smooth to start.
Well, you would have to say kids may be a little nervous out on this floor for the first time. Shot for three won't go. Rebound snatched down by Landon Childs. Again, was a great defensive end this year on the football team for School of the Osage. This Dixon club, they're solid. And that's a good league down there, Frisco. Smaller schools. Of course, School of the Osage playing in the Tri-County Conference. Ball thrown away, stolen away by Drew Young. And Drew will bring it into the forecourt.
Dixon, Class 3 now. School of the Osage, Class 4, District 10, with some teams I'm familiar with like Bolivar, Stratford, and Springfield Catholic.
Stratford's up to Class 4? Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
There's those little pockets out and around Springfield just keep getting bigger. When my son started going to Republic was a Class 4 school. When we put him in the school district, it's Class 6 now.
Yeah, that area has grown and grown. Ball, try to throw it into the post, batted away nicely by Trusty. Shot won't go. Stick back up, McBride won't go.
Oh.
Some shots missed inside, then dumped pretty hard on the deck. Beginning up is DePay. Well, not quite as loud as it would have been last Sunday afternoon here, but that doesn't affect the quality of the basketball here. We've got some great games coming up the next 2 days after today here at the Norm Stewart Classic.
That's what Jim and I were discussing with Sharon Collins, the former All-American and national champion with KU, coaching in the game before this.
I don't think I've seen Cardinal Ritter lose very often at all. That's a quality club they lost to today.
They haven't lost much in the last couple of years, and honestly, Mike, they haven't lost much on this floor.
No. I've seen them down in Springfield a couple times in the last few years in the Final Four. Trusty's got an open look for three. Osage needs somebody to get the lid off the rim, but it won't go there. Pulled in nicely by M.J. Ford.
We've played more minutes than anybody scored points at this point.
That'll clean up here in a second. Shot won't drop for Ford, running to the basket with the left hand. Osage the other way. It's funny, you get that first basket, and it loosens things up. Trusty goes baseline. Nice pass down the lane, and a foul. And getting to the free throw line, I believe, will be Blake Harrison.
Looked like Tommy McBride reached in, and he did. The 6'5 senior forward commits the foul. There you see a great bounce pass to try and set up a cutting Blake Harrison, but instead he'll have to make him at the free throw line.
And Osage is still not on the board. 2-0 Dixon here. 4:03 remaining in the first quarter. First substitutions for Osage. Andrew Gruss. Also in the game, Lane Stokes, a sophomore. And Jackson Long back in the game.
Maybe you get Gruss involved here. He was one of the players last year on this team that had an effective field goal percentage of almost 50%.
Yeah.
So maybe give you a scoring chance. But the free throw gets Osage on the board. And a 2-1 start to this one halfway through quarter number one.
You don't expect to see that good of pitching this early in the season.
That's
Here,
right.
Nice cut to the basket. Drew Young finishes. And a 4-1 lead for the Dixon Bulldogs. Dixon's had some great teams over the years. Going back to John Brown, who played here at Mizzou and for the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA. DePay running the point here. Inside nicely, they go to Harrison, up fake, in the lane a long time. Good reversal, open look for Long, up and good. Isn't that amazing? You get that first point, and it just seems like it's just so much easier to shoot.
Knock down a big three, tie everything up. Does Osage.
Ford gets to the rim, and he draws the foul. Shot won't go, but he'll get to the line for a pair of free throws.
I like the take that time by the sophomore guard. Just gets going down a hill in a hurry. Doesn't finish it at the rim, but has a chance to toe the line here with that SEC logo right at his feet.
First free throw is good. Dixon back up by one. I would say Ford would be a good football player, but Dixon doesn't play football. So maybe he plays some soccer somewhere along the line. Second free throw for Ford. And the second one up in good form on both free throws.
Still watching the end of the Osage bench, Mike. Noah Northrup getting looked to by the medical training staff. Still not sure the issue that Northrup is dealing with, but he's sitting all the way at the end of the Indians bench getting that medical treatment.
Ball stripped by Ford And then off the Osage player out of bounds and turnover back to the Dixon Bulldogs. Northrop, an outstanding track athlete for School of the Osage. His dad was a good player for the Indians back in the day as well, Gary Northrop. First time out of the contest, 6-4 Dixon with a 2-point lead. I suspect we'll see with some of the bigger schools and some of the compelling matchups that's coming up later this evening that we'll see some bigger crowds here. Tolton and Principia will be fun. Rockbridge, North Kansas City.
Well, what Rockbridge is about? Is it even 5 minutes from here?
No. Well, it depends on the traffic, but it's not far. And then you'll see the former coach at Blair Oaks now coaching Capital City.
I would say the 9 o'clock nightcap might be one that a few people here in mid-Missouri have circled to see the Cavaliers and the Falcons go at it with those ties. But Rockbridge, Jill Nagel, the program she has built there is on the girls' side is impressive, but the boys will take center stage at 7:30 against North Kansas City.
Jim Scanlon's been there for many, many years for the Rockbridge Bruins. Here's the offense being worked on by Dixon. Good motion here. They fumbled it momentarily. Entry pass stripped away and stolen. Pick it up by Harrison. Here's the run out. DePay gets under the basket, goes up with the right hand, and ties the score at 6. Into the game for Dixon. Taylor Dodson, a junior at 5'9", left-handed dribble. Hands it off on the wing for Burns. Burns just checked in as well. Andrew Young. Long bounce pass. Almost a double dribble. Not almost a double dribble. It was a double dribble, and the ball turned over back to Osage. So they have their first chance as DePay scores here on the replay.
Dane has such a high basketball IQ. He was a double-digit scorer a year ago for the Indians. Had better than 10 points and almost 5 assists a contest. So he sees the floor well, too.
Good defense by Dodson. For Osage Stokes, kick out back on the point for DePay. Here's the long wing three, up and good. That's why Lane Stokes is in the game. Osage with their first lead at 9-6.
The sophomore comes in off the bench and steps into a big three. I'm saying as slow as points have been to come by here in the first quarter, that's a big shot with 100 seconds to go.
And a ball stripped and stolen, then a foul on the run out. Probably not a bad foul because Harrison had the ankle and everyone beaten. And that's the 4th team foul, so no free throws involved here. Jeff Hinshaw calling out a set player, 1:36 left. Jeff played at Rolla High School, bounced around a little bit his first year, taking over for Craig Engelbrecht, who's back at Eugene now as an assistant with his 600-plus coaching wins.
Is that all?
Is that all? Well, yeah, just 20 a year for 30 years, no big deal. Nice crossover there by Young. Gets to the rim and draws a foul. Tough shooting luck. But he will get a chance now to shoot 2 and get Dixon back to within 1.
Drew Young at 6'1" is a versatile and consistent scorer for Dixon. The leading scorer returning this year, averaging 19 points per game last year. 6 rebounds. And
there you can see the foul on Jackson Long on the drive there by Drew Young, 6'1" junior. Second free throw off the mark. Good block out in the rebound there by Gruce. Gruce gives Osage a little bit of size. They don't have a lot. Here's a corner 3 up and good.
Wow.
And again, that's why Lane Stokes is apparently in the game. 12-7 and a timeout, 30-second call, I'm assuming, by the Dixon Bulldogs and Logan Ray. Logan's been down there for several years now in Dixon in that Frisco League.
Yep, 5th year for him, 70 wins at the helm of the Dixon program, 9 years overall as a head coach. Closing in on he should hit career win number 150 here at the early going of this season. But, man, those 2 threes by Lane Stokes off the bench. The sophomore guard gets 6 points here in the first quarter, and the difference in the game right now that was kind of so slowly started. Now all of a sudden you're up and going and have that 12-7 advantage.
Well, Osage got that first point from the free throw line at the 4-minute mark.
Yes.
So in just a hair under 3 minutes now, they've scored 12 points. Get that first shot to drop in, it just kind of gets everything clicking for you.
Everything goes downhill after that.
And Stokes apparently not not fazed by the big stage here whatsoever. A lot of kids for the first time shooting with no wall right behind the basket find that a little disorienting, but he has looked good shooting it.
The depth perception is usually an issue for young shooters in here, but has not been a problem for the sophomore Stokes.
Handoff to Burns. Nice back cut, broken up a little bit. In trouble in the lane. The kick out finally for Ford. Nearly turned the ball over. Gets it back nicely to Kramer. Kramer wants to drive baseline. Good help, and a great catch inside. And a shot won't go, and then a foul called as Maverick Yoakum had the offensive rebound. That'll be on the floor, I believe.
Gets deigned to pay. Over the back that time, and that'll bring Maverick Trusty off the bench and in.
And Maverick, 2-year starter at quarterback for the Indians. Just a junior. At a high post, up fake, kick out on the wing for Ford. Quick reversal, open look for Burns for three short. Stick back won't go, and they've missed some shots. That is Dixon inside. Pass up quickly by Childs, broken up on the sideline. It will stay with Osage.
Batted out of bounds by Cameron Burns. Good defensive intensity that time, but didn't get the turnover.
You think during that timeout, Coach Ray said, let's figure out where number 33's at on defense here. Oh, nice pass inside, then blocked, but a whistle on the foul. That was a good play, good catch, and then it looked like a good block by McBride, but the official in perfect position to get the foul call. And 2 free throws coming up for Andrew Gruce, 6'5", and a senior.
Is that really McBride's third already in the first quarter?
First free throw is good.
I thought he had 2 for sure, but what I heard was 3.
Yeah, I don't see that on any scoreboard here. So
there isn't anything to look at other than the scoreboard and team fouls, but they'll bring stat sheets over at the end of the quarter, and we'll be able to confirm or deny that report.
Gruce makes 1 of 2. Good block out in the rebound for Yoakum. And then the ball thrown away. Well, actually just taking a wild shot as time expired in the first quarter. You're watching basketball from the Norm Stewart Classic.
Listen, I love what I do. Helping businesses survive and grow is just a part of my daily routine. Doesn't matter if they're small or big or what they do. I provide them with the tools, technology, and support for them to realize their dreams and security to protect their dreams. So when my job is done, they know their business internet is up to speed and up for any challenge. At Mediacom Business, we're proud to be powering American business.
Once Osage got the lid off the basket, they have worked themselves out to a 6-point lead, trailed by as much as 3 at 4-1, Corey. But once they got clicking, and the three-pointers by the kid off the bench, Lane Stokes, really got the offense kick-started as well.
It definitely got them fired up, and because of that, first-year head coach Jeff Henshaw not making any changes. Stokes gets to stay on the floor to begin action here in quarter number 2.
Northrop is back on the floor for Osage. That's good news. At a high post, the back cut, nicely done. Up strong, he may have double-dribbled or traveled. Same results. Did you get the foul situation there?
That's what I was working on, and they do. 5 team fouls against Dixon, 3 of them by Tommy McBride. So he will probably be not much more than a spectator for the majority of this quarter.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect Osage to run away and hide here, so maybe they can buy some time with him on the bench here in the second quarter. Nice cut by Kramer, runner to the basket, shot won't go, and a hell ball, I believe, yes, tied up. And again, Dixon's missed some shots inside.
That time it was Maverick Yoakum forcing the tie up, the alternating possession arrow keeping it here. As you see, the floater missed. The rebound came right down to Trusty, but good heads-up play by Yoakum to force the tie-up.
Open 3, beautiful shot by John Kramer. to have the first points of the second quarter and get Dixon back to within 3.
And that's the first made 3 of the game.
Here's an open look from the wing, rims off, tipped around, cleared finally by Kramer. He just hit that 3, races down the floor, and has a strip and stolen. I don't think anybody's going to catch Northrup, and he is fouled on the way to the basket. Helped up nicely there by Camden Burns.
Just want to make sure that he gets up all right. Remember, he was at the end of the bench getting looked at by the athletic trainer late in the first quarter.
When you look at the shooting percentages and bears out what we watched in the first quarter, Osage 36% and Dixon 22%. First free throw was good.
They were not pretty numbers. That is for certain. They were 0 for 3 were the Bulldogs from three-point land until they got that recent 3. Didn't get one to go in the first 8 minutes.
Good form, good result. 15-10. Osage by 5 over the Dixon Bulldogs.
Rebounds, Mike, were dead even in the first quarter, 8-8. Turnovers were close to it, 6-4, with Osage just 2 fewer turnovers than the Bulldogs.
Kramer just a bit of a forced shot on the baseline. Quickly the other way is Childs. Open look for 3, up in and out for Northrup. Good block out in the rebound there by Drew Young. This is a good Dixon team. You got to figure they're going to get rolling here soon. That's a shot forced a little bit. Good block out in the rebound. And Osage in an up and down game. We're going to have to worry about the 35-second clock.
No.
Northrup step back 3, and this one rattles home.
School of the Osage had 3 made triples in the first quarter. 2 of those by Stokes. They get it going here.
Ford open look for 3. Sharp angle rebound. I don't think Stokes reached and touched that. He did not. And it goes over to the Indians. There's a shot in the corner on the side, I should say. Up and good for Northrup.
Darn near good from NCAA range.
Yeah.
If he had taken one more step back, just right in between the black and white three-point lines that designate the college line from the high school line.
Maverick Trusty will run the point, goes to the high post. Facing the basket was Harrison, lost it down on the deck, tipped nicely to a teammate behind the defense, running to the basket. Dotson, shot comes off the front of the rim. Offensive rebound and a strip, and a foul is going to be called on Long. Man, we've seen some missed shots. I mean, close for Dixon.
You don't shoot 22%, partner, without missing a bunch, and that's unfortunately what's happened. It's just been kind of a cold start to this one, midweek game, but no problems at the free throw line, at least not for Talon Holzer.
We haven't seen his twin brother out on the floor, 2 freshmen, twins.
Yep.
Second free throw up and good as well.
Not identical, mind you, because Tripp is listed at 5'9", Talon listed at 6'2".
Okay. I had a game years ago, my first broadcast of the year. Dixon had identical twins. One was 23, one was 32. I don't think I ever got either one's name correct all night long. Shot up a good, nicely done inside. For Osage's Andrew Groos, runner down the lane, banks off the backboard, a little spin, and drops through. And I'm wide open here, man.
Good hands.
Got it on the short hop, I'll say that.
One of the better student crowds that I've seen in the first 4 games of the day, backing behind the Dixon Bulldogs. They've got about 3 rows worth behind their bench.
Good for them. Get out of school for the day. Come to Mizzou Arena and watch some hoops.
I would have taken that in high school in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'd have gotten in trouble because I would have just taken off and went. Here's the up fake shot won't go, or actually the pass is not made, and then Dodson turns it over and the ball goes back to Osage. It's such an odd thing, but you've seen it so many times, I'm sure, Corey, where you go 4 minutes and you don't score, and you get that first basket, even a free throw, and all of a sudden the offense is all good.
It's amazing how things can just click mentally after that. And that's usually what it is. It's usually that 5 or 6 inches between your ears.
Good press break by Osage. Grease inside. Shot won't go.
Another miss from point-blank range, this time, though, for Osage instead of Dixon.
Kramer all the way to the rim. He scores, and so Dixon getting their offense clicking. I remember a time when that would have been traveling.
Yeah.
but not anymore, apparently. So I'm over that. I used to complain about it a lot, but I'm over it now.
I've got a partner I work with, Mike, that they call it a Euro step. He calls it a Euro walk.
I've got another name for it, but I'm not going to use it here. Shot won't drop. Kick out. DePay, nice sidestep move. Works down the lane, hangs, shoots, doesn't get the roll. Kept the rebound alive. Taken out finally by Harrison. In trouble in the lane. Steps around a defender. Shot long. And a weak side rebound. It got blocked by the official. DePay stripped from behind. He's got to go retrieve it.
Yeah, that was knocked into backcourt by the defender. So now an odd man break.
Northrup's hit a three from that spot. Goes baseline. Nice cut. Harrison's fouled. He'll get a pair of free throws. 3:40 remaining in the first half. The Osage ladies will play the next game, and they'll take on the Fox Warriors out of Arnold, Missouri, just south of St. Louis. Harrison's first free throw up and good. Good form. Osage is led by as much as 8 here in the second quarter. Trailed by as much as 3 very early on in this game. Harrison's second. Good form. Good result. Yeah, got the roll. Lead back to 6. Osage over Dixon. Dixon with the ball. Ford. Pass ahead nicely to Kramer, who's had a good second quarter. Hit a 3 earlier on. Holzer. And that's Talon. Again to the rim. Shot won't go. Stick back off the glass long. Tipped out and collected by Cruz on the near sideline.
Even when Osage can't get the rebound clean, it seems like those tip outs are always there. You get a whistle and a foul underneath.
Yeah, neither one of these teams are real big.
There's no aircraft carriers floating around in
No.
the paint for either one of them.
So they have to have technique, block out, tip it away from the basket if you can. Trusty will check back in after the first free throw here.
Made free throw by Northrop. Give you your largest lead of the game at 7.
I had him at 8 at 18-10.
Well, the first quarter said that they had led by as many as 6.
Second free throw rattles home.
But the points are coming a lot more frequently as late in the first quarter here early in the second.
In for Dixon at the dead ball, Camden Burns. 6-foot senior.
Dixon still going without one of their starting 5, senior forward Tommy McBride, who picked up 3 personal fouls in the first 8 minutes and has since had to become a spectator.
If you think that the lead gets to double, a nice catch by Ford to save an errant pass and a good move on the baseline, but cut off by Maverick Trusty. If the lead gets to double digits, do you think about bringing McBride back?
I don't know how long you can sit him there. And
strong move, and this one finally drops. Maverick Yoakum scores. 24-18, Osage over Dixon. Left-handed pass in the forecourt. Cover Stokes. He finds a runner to the basket, up and good. Stokes to Gruce for the basket. Picking up the pace is a good move by Ford down the lane. Finds a cutter to the rim. Double dribble. No. Play on. Off the glass long with a shot.
say it was a great delivery, but when the guy on the other end kind of fumbles it that close to the paint and the out-of-bounds line underneath, you don't have a lot of room for error. Whoa.
Trusty, and then a reach over foul. Trusty stumbled and almost turned the ball over, palmed it. I believe they used to call it. I can't help but look over to the Osage bench and wonder if Jeff Henshaw tells his dad to go get some fresh towels every now and then or something like that. Kelly was a real good coach and really got into admin down at Rolla. Here's Stokes with a pair of three-pointers. Trusty, long three, won't go short. Now behind the defense, it's picked off and stolen by Landon Childs. Runs to the basket, flips it to Stokes. Crossover move, his floater in the lane, and he wasn't quite on the same page with Gruce.
Well, it was the right idea, but the execution wasn't quite there that time, as they were both thinking lob it in to the post, but the timing had been disrupted.
Oh, that's no call. I was anticipating a foul call there on Maverick Trusty, but a foul now is called on Trusty, but not the one I was anticipating.
I think you get the first bump free. It's the second that usually will garner the whistle.
Unless on Black Friday, then you get a third one sometimes. Running the basket, Kramer, his shot won't drop. Let's check that Drew Young. But he will get to the free throw line, shoot a pair. I think Gruce getting the foul. (28-22), the second free throw on the way. 32 seconds left in the half. Same form, a little bit long with the shot, but got the roll.
Friendly roll.
I think he did a Tom Brady thing, let some air out of the ball maybe on that one. Doesn't usually hang up on the rim that way, but both free throws good.
Perry Jacobs into the ball game for Logan Ray for the first time.
Northrop to catch up the sideline. Cross-court pass, Childs. Northrop, little floater up and good. Nice shot.
Plenty of time, shot clock dark for Dixon to get one back. And a reach-in foul against Northrop.
And that was the 15th foul on Osage, so that will result in free throws for MJ Ford. Couple of substitutions, it looks like. Coming in for Osage, I believe that's Jackson Long and Dane DePay. After the free throw, first free throw, which is short. I think really Dixon, the way they've missed shots around the basket, they've not shot free throws real well.
No.
McBride on the bench most of the second quarter. That feel pretty good, only be down by 7 here. Ford's second free throw, this one's up and good.
So you get it to 6 here. They got a D up here in the final 10.
Here's DePay. Stokes the up fake, baseline jumper just a little off the mark. Time running down, you're going to have to put it up. DePay long three, short off the rim as time expires in the half. Pretty good basketball after a ragged start. Osage leads Dixon at the half by a score of 30-24. You're watching the Norm Stewart Classic from Mizzou Arena.
Get ready, Mediacom is now.
Mobile?
Enjoy fast, reliable coast-to-coast coverage.
Really?
It's an unbeatable network, and we've got some unbeatable prices too. Mediacom Mobile. Shop online today.
Osage has the ball in the alternate possession to start this second half play. I thought we were going to have an over and back again on that opening inbounds pass to start the game.
Already had that to start the first. I don't know that we'll see that again the rest of the tournament.
Nice series of passes. And the finish by Blake Harrison, and Osage back up by 8.
The headbands were rolling that time. A little triangle 1, 2, 3 in the finish down low.
That was pretty. Ball never touched the floor. Back cut to the basket and a tangle of bodies on the deck. It rolls across the baseline. I think it will stay with Dixon, their first possession of the second half.
MJ Ford might came in a little hot that time and dumped the ball off the last second. You could tell he was kind of hands up, making sure he didn't get called for the charge.
And the ball stripped from behind. Northrop gets there first, has it knocked loose, saves it on the sideline. Now to Maverick Trusty. Races up the floor, nowhere to go, fans out on the baseline. Back out on the point to pay a nice catch. Catch by Gruce. Now check that. That was actually Harrison again. Open three in the corner. Knocked down by Landon Childs, and Osage has their biggest lead of the day. It's up to 11.
5 made threes on 13 attempts, and that will help.
This Dixon team at 5-0 on the season. They've been very solid here in the opening going. This is an experienced team as well, too. With a couple of all-conference players. Ball back tapped right to Ford. Down the lane, working it is Kramer. Now off the curl, running the basket. A lot of contact, shot miss. Stick back misses short. Tipped out, saved by Dixon, then partially blocked and finally picked off by DePay. Again, I can't get over how many shots that Dixon has missed inside. Baseline drive, really nowhere to go for DePay. He fans back outside. Here's Trusty. He wants a three. Long arcing shot up and good. And that's got to bring a timeout from the Dixon bench, you would think, as the lead has ballooned to 14 here. And Osage on an 8-0 run to start the second half. And we'll hold it here as that is a full timeout. I believe Dixon's used their second. Boy, it's just great execution by Osage on the offensive end, you'd have to say.
Well, and you're getting the threes to fall in the first half, Mike. It was the sophomore. You know, you would look up and expect Lane Stokes. He knocked down the first two, but everybody's getting into the game plan now. 3 different guys have knocked down threes since that opening frame, and it has allowed them to grow this to their largest advantage of the ball game, less than 2 minutes into the start of the second half.
Yeah, Trusty, who had missed a couple of threes, open looks as well, too. He stepped into that last one with a lot of confidence and knocks it down. You start getting balanced scoring the way Osage has here to start the second half, and things looking pretty good for you. But the timeout called by Dixon, they had to call that, down now by 14. I'm sure that they're going to get some things straightened out, and it's important for them just to get something positive on the offensive end here in the third quarter.
You know, the Indians averaging about, under 70 points a game, about 68. Defense giving up about 50. They haven't played, even though they've lost one, they haven't really played a super tight game yet.
Right.
And now they're getting it out and going to start hearing a little 2-3 zone look as Ford walks it up.
And they'll trap Ford, too, as he picks up the dribble. And then the strip and a steal, picked up nicely by Landon Childs. He runs all the way to the basket, finger roll, up and good. I love that change in the defenses out of the timeout.
I loved was the change of speed that time by Childs. He just found another gear to get the easy layup after the turnover.
Running the basket, little reach foul as he went by. I think it's going to be Blake Harrison for Osage receiving the foul. Although he may have signaled 22, but there isn't a 22 on the floor. So I was right the first time, I believe, and you can see the foul there as Young hits the deck and makes the first free throw.
2 and 2 and 1. He was trying to total up to 5.
Okay.
Right now, if you're a fan of the Bulldogs, you're just happy that Tommy McBride wasn't in the mix. He is on the floor to start the second half. Getting minutes in here now, and you can hear a different intonation on the defensive end as he barks out commands to his teammates.
Yeah, Trusty didn't get a clean release on that three, missed it short. Here's the run out. Kramer left-handed. Angle shot blocked by DePay. A little too deliberate there maybe. DePay works down the lane, leans out, shot won't go. Harrison back up, his shot didn't come off his hand cleanly, and then hits the baseline, and it's back over to Dixon.
You know, this Indian team, Mike, doesn't have a ton of size, but I feel like everybody's wingspan is like my dad used to say, talk about a guy that could scratch his knees standing up straight. It's like the long arms that this team has really helps on the defensive end, and you see a lot of long outstretched arms on scoring opportunities on the offensive end as they get a little give and go here with McBride in the high post.
Kramer finishes on the back cut and scores. And one thing you say about Osage is the team speed. I mean, they can get up and down the floor. And that covers up a lot defensively, too. Nice cut to the basket and a clean block. Nicely done by John Kramer.
Boy, Kramer came over the top and just capped that one, going up against a taller player. But no problem here. As you see, they start the offensive set at the top of the key. There's the good cut, but Kramer able to close and deny Harrison on an easy layup.
And Kramer was actually beaten off that back cut, but recovered with a great block. Now on the baseline, DePay's pass tip, and here's a run out the other way for Kramer's got a 2-on-1. Nice extra pass and one, as Young will score and has an opportunity at the three-point play.
Kramer did such a great job of kind of changing the speed of that break. Watch it one more time, coming straight at you, and forces the defense behind. Nothing for Northrop to do there, but end up committing the foul and giving an and one opportunity here. Big shot for Dixon to get the lead down to 10.
Lane Stokes is back in, as is Andrew Gruss. One free throw here and can make it a 10-point game, and it is a 10-point lead for Osage over Dixon after the three-point play. Here's the zone press. DePay crosses over, gathers the ball back in, beats the double team, carried it on his hip a little bit there. Stokes on the curl in a lane pass, batted block in his back in his face, and finally controlled by the Dixon Bulldogs. They're trying to make a run here. Burns with the play there.
McBride with the block that time, and that is dangerous with three fouls as you get a reach in, and it's turned away by the Indians.
Here's a run out the other way for Jackson. Long banks it up and scores.
Over the top of Camden Burns that time, as Burns tried to set, hoping he could draw a charge. Now a traveling violation on the other end, gives it back to the Indians. One more time on the break.
Yeah, Osage getting a little ragged there, but this was a great play. Long really took it all the way to the rim. That shot is hard to do to control when you're kind of palming it out to the side like that and to get it off a perfect spot off the glass. Bounce pass up the sidelines. Stokes wants the three. Long with the shot. Offensive rebound, Blake Harrison. Extra pass. Gruss scores from Harrison. And a lead back to 14.
Love a good paint touch like that. And a good finish for the 6'5 senior Gruss that time.
I think almost all these kids, I don't believe Stokes did, but almost all these kids for Osage played football this year. So
that's great.
Yeah, they're good athletes. You know that.
Now you can't hear a coach talk as McBride will try a finger roll here, but you can't go anywhere right now, Mike, and not hear coaches talk about how they would prefer to coach multi-sport athletes. The benefits of multi-sport athletes are they are more coachable when you're willing to learn multiple sports, that they are less likely to get injured because of they do not suffer from repetitive use injuries.
Right.
And just there's so many benefits, and it's great to see a school like the Indians take the benefit of that from football season into basketball season. But sometimes it takes a little bit to make that shift from full collision sport to a mildly less physical game of basketball, but still has plenty of contact.
One of two free throws. Yeah, here's Stokes for three in the corner. His third of the afternoon makes it a 16-point lead once again. Nice pass inside, and then hesitating on the shot for McBride. He was looking for something that wasn't there, I believe. Here's DePay cut off. He finds Trusty, who drives baseline. This high arcing floater hangs on the rim and scores.
Trusty paid for that one, got popped maybe on the nose.
But again, a quarterback And a charge is called. Take away the basket. I didn't see Harrison on the weak side there, but he sealed it. If there's, and the call was absolutely right, but if there's one thing is you see the charge being committed here. Yeah.
Wow, that's not a lot of contact for a charge off the shoulder.
Yeah, it really wasn't squared up on him very well
No.
either. And Gruce can't handle a pass that short-hopped him. But I know there's a lot for high school officials to watch, but I like that restricted area because that weak side guy just kind of standing there hoping somebody run into him. That's what it basically amounts to.
Yeah, I've got a laundry list of rules that I need changed in a variety of sports, but the top of my list is still changing the NFL pass interference rule to the college rule.
Okay. Taylor Dotson's in now for the Bulldogs. Open look for three for Kramer. Comes up a little bit short. Fumbling it a bit, Camden Burns, who gets it inside to Drew Young. And he draws the foul. A pair of free throws coming up here.
Nice hustle by Burns that time to try and get the offensive rebound. He did, found an open teammate. And good pass right in between two defenders will give him a chance to get a couple of back here with the clock stopped at 94 seconds.
First free throw is missed. Landon Childs back in, 6'1 senior. He played defensive end and tight end for Shannon Jolly this year, School of the Osage. Second free throw, and this one is good. Settles into the basket, 49-32. Osage by 17. Good press break. Childs drives baseline, nowhere to go. Hands it off to Gruce, stripped and stolen. Behind the defense, it's Drew Young. Runs to the basket and scores. Nicely done, the assist to McBride.
Good acceleration to get him clear of the defense and get the easy two there. Get it down to 15 now.
1:08 left in the third quarter, and the pass hits the backboard and is saved nicely by Taylor Dodson. Dodson holds the dribble. Contact, play on. Nobody really gained an advantage there. Taylor holds her. Cross court to Kramer. Beat his man. No, we got a timeout called instead.
Dixon will use a 30-second timeout here.
I think that's their third of the game, a 30 here, and we'll hold it here with Osage leading Dixon 49-34.
So now the points that we brought up at halftime, Mike, talking about Dixon having to come up with an identity without Taylor McBride on the floor. You get him back in. He has now, for the better part of 7.5 minutes, played clean basketball with 3 personal fouls, but it has not led to them getting any closer on the scoreboard, really, to the Indians, with them down 15 points here, just 49 seconds to go in the period.
Yeah, Osage had opened up a 14-point lead on an 8-0 run to start the third quarter. Then Dixon worked it down to 10 at 40-30, but since then, Osage has outscored them 9-4 to get the lead out. At one point, it was actually 49-31, an 18-point differential.
Dixon just 90 minutes straight south, basically, of Columbia. Most schools in this event, I feel like, heading north to Columbia for this one, at least for the schools that aren't local.
Clean pick by Childs in the run out. Gathers himself and a strip and a steal on a hustle play by John Kramer. Actually goes out of bounds across the baseline, but saves the lineup here. You'll see this. It looked like Childs was so intent on getting to the right-handed angle for the layup that he gave up the advantage of distance that he had. Now here's a cut to the basket. Shot comes up short. There's something about that basket on that end. Ball comes loose. Cross-court Trusty doesn't want the shot. Bounce pass. Nice up fake. Contact and one.
That's 4 on McBride.
Wow.
He left his feet. He tries to politic and say he was straight up and down, but you can't leave your feet. That's the most important part here. And you see the good pass. That's all it took. A little head fake from Blake Harrison. McBride leaves his feet, and McBride will probably leave the floor with 4 fouls.
Yeah, only 29 seconds left in the third quarter. That wasn't a lot, but the contact was there. Good finish and a chance at the three-point play, and can equal the biggest lead that Osage has enjoyed. That is the case. 52-34. John Kramer accelerates on the dribble. He'll go all the way to the rim. His runner's up and good. Been a big quarter for Osage there at 22 points. Good catch by Gruce. Fires a pass out way high. It's Trusty way short. Gruce tried to save it.
Well, not for a lack of effort, but you're going to give Dixon a chance here to get one more bucket back.
They let it roll up the floor to save a second or two. Here's Kramer. A little fadeaway on the wing. Won't go, just a little short. And we played 3 quarters, and Osage has taken control of this game. Lead by 16 through 3 quarters at 52-36 over Dixon. You're watching the Norm Stewart Classic.
Listen, I love what I do. Helping businesses survive and grow is just a part of my daily routine. Doesn't matter if they're small or big or what they do. I provide them with the tools, technology, and support for them to realize their dreams and security to protect their dreams. So when my job is done, they know their business internet is up to speed and up for any challenge. At Mediacom Business, we're proud to be powering American business.
Big third quarter for School of the Osage, outscoring Dixon 22-12, led by as much as 18 on 2 separate occasions. We prepare for the start of the fourth quarter. Osage will come out with Northrop, DePay, Gruce, Stokes, and Childs. And McBride again for Dixon, saddled with 4 fouls. I don't think they'll be able to keep him on the bench long. We'll get the third quarter stats here in just a moment. Going to pass these along. First possession belongs to Dixon. Touch pass Kramer to high post for Tommy McBride. Here the long 3 up and good.
Holy cow, just the second 3 of the game for Dixon, and that's down the well.
39-52. Osage handles the pressure so far. Quick move to the baseline. Here's a 3 just off the mark, tipped out, forward on the run the other way. Gets by DePay off the glass and scores on a quick 5-0 run for the Dixon Bulldogs. Gets it down to 11. DePay has the advantage as the guard here as he can throw over the top. Got good size. Childs drives baseline. Long bounce pass. The 3 again just slightly off the mark for Stokes. And the ball tipped around and finally controlled inside by McBride, or Holzer, excuse me. And then a steal, DePay. Goes over on the wing for Jackson Long, his runner. Back iron won't go. Tipped out forward, pass ahead. Uncontested layup for Young. He puts it up and in. And a big run here. Has it in single digits. A quick 7-0 run for the Dixon Bulldogs. 43-52. Indians with the ball and a soft pass. They were trying to go to a high post to Childs. It just wasn't there. And that was had to have been something, wasn't it? Traveling maybe or a foul, but play on.
One or the other.
Quickly the other way. Northrop thought about the 3. Gets a cutter down the lane. Grew squares up and scores from Northrop. And that gets Osage on the board here in the fourth quarter.
It was all Osage in the third. You mentioned 22 points for them, just 12 for Dixon. That was what allowed them to expand their lead. And now, partner, you zigged when you should have zagged that time as Drew Young not on the same page with his backcourt teammate.
Well, he started to back cut and then stopped, and that was too late for Kramer. He'd already released the pass. And young lady with the camera on the baseline who's not playing in this game. Nice play down there. DePay weaves through traffic, gets squared up, shot won't go, kept alive by Gruce, but he touched it last out of bounds and back to Dixon. 7-2 run here to start the fourth quarter by Dixon. in the game. Camden Burns, the 6-foot senior for Dixon.
He takes Kramer's spot. And really like what Kramer could do with the ball in his hands, but that young man needs a little bit of a break here.
Long screen and roll, but Ford for three up and good. And now it's a 10-2 run and an 8-point game. And a timeout, a full has been called by the Osage bench. We'll hold it here.
Well, so we talked about the three-point play being big early for the Osage Indians. Now this comeback for Dixon kind of being sparked from the perimeter, as they had only had one made three on 6 attempts through the first 3 quarters of play. They've knocked down a couple big shots here to get the lead down to single digits here, and you're not even midway through the 4th quarter. So this one far from over between the Bulldogs and the Indians.
Yeah, they played a regular season game last year. It did go to overtime and went to Dixon eventually. And you take it back to the end of the 4th quarter, it's actually a 12-2 run as Dixon got the final basket of the 3rd quarter, and a 10-2 run to start this 4th quarter, and they've got themselves back in this ball game.
Coming up for Dixon after their appearance, they've got a home game December 13th against Cuba. A little bit later, they will play in the Owensville and the Iberia tournaments through the holidays and into the new year.
Owensville usually has pretty good field up there, the Dutchmen and the Dutch ladies, as it turns out. I don't think I've ever worked that tournament, but I've done several games up there over the years.
I have not. I have gotten to do some Iberia games when they had a good run in boys basketball a couple of years. Saw them at the Final Four.
Yeah, they came from behind and beat, I can't think who it was. They kind of let a game get away from them. I know Iberia in the state championship game. Oh, it was Sacred Heart out of Sedalia. That was a game that I actually got to work. Here we go. Osage needing to get the ship right a little bit. Here's a long three. Short. Comes to the weak side. Good block out in the rebound by Talon Holzer. Now Ford. It's an 8-point game. It was 18 just moments ago. And a near steal. Good play by Childs, but he can't save it on the sideline. Jackson Long getting some extended minutes and some instructions from his coach as well. He didn't seem to quite understand what the coach was trying to get across to him.
Underclassmen.
Now the coach is maybe a little too excited too. It could have been part of it.
It happens to coaches like it happens to players. Now they're going to call,
I think, a
illegal screen.
Yeah, moving screen, and Northrop hit the deck pretty hard there. It's a turnover. It goes back to Osage. Stays at an 8-point differential.
Yep, Holzer picks up his foul. First team foul. First foul called on either team here in the 4th frame.
Good press break. Here's Jackson Long. Shot up and good. That's a big basket for Osage. Gets the lead back up to 11. Osage looking to get their win here today. I don't think they've played up here. That ball's thrown away. And another turnover. So after getting the lead down to 8, back-to-back turnovers by Dixon, and Osage can extend it even further. 11 points now with 4:19 remaining.
Did you see how quickly Jim protected the donuts? I wasn't sure which he was going for first.
That would be my first step.
The computer first, the donuts second. Strong hand goes the computer, weak hand to the donuts.
Ball turned over, goes back to Dixon. We got enthralled with the donuts there. I missed the play on the other end. Here's Dixon, down by 11. As we hit the halfway point of the 4th quarter. MJ Ford. Now it goes to Kramer at a high post. McBride with his 4 fouls. A lot of time on this possession. Ford holds the dribble. Great. Well, that's not a lot, but Northrop gets the foul. And that's Osage's first foul here in the 4th quarter. Northrop's still got his hands on his hips saying, what did I do? The inbounds pass by Kramer, challenged. Taken by Holzer, Talon Holzer. Northrop, great defensive stance. Back to Ford. Long wing, 3 up and good.
Ford playing tougher here in the second half, knocking down a big triple. And I was surprised at the length of time they took on that offensive possession. They're not going to be able to have very many long offensive sets. As you get a 3 answer on the other end, it's long again.
That was long. Dead on's what it was. That was up and good. He took a bit of a bump, too, as he released it. 3:07 left. Here's Ford, another 3 short. Sharp angle rebound comes to DePay, and he's in no hurry as Dixon gets back on defense. They'll look to trap DePay, but he's good at just jumping, throwing over the top. Long, feeling it, up and good. I'm not sure that Coach Henshaw was okay with that shot.
He was when it went in, partner. He was when it went in. That was a little heat check from Long. Just want MJ Ford to know anything you can do, I can do better.
Twice in a row. McBride in a little trouble. Check that Holzer. Screen and roll, doesn't develop. Nice shot, won't drop down for Ford. Had to lean out with the left hand. And DePay tries to restore some order here with 2:20 remaining in the third. Again, Long, short. That may have been partially blocked. Coach Henshaw's got his hands in his pocket. Yeah. You like that spot? That 2 out of 3 is not bad.
I'd say that's probably the last one of those you're going to see right now for a little bit.
And a foul on DePay. Osage with fouls to give. Well, the Indians have withstood the run here by Dixon, up by 14. Now you got to really keep an eye on the clock. Trusty back in for Osage, in for DePay. He'll get a short break because I'm sure they want him out there for the press break.
Indians' next game will be at home December 12th against Clinton.
Long 3 won't go. Trusty just in the game, good block out in the rebound. Finds Childs. Pressure on the ball by Ford. Now they look to trap. Gets rid of it quickly. In the corner off the curl. Stumbles a little bit. Inside to Cruz, who scores. And Osage getting comfortable again, now up 16.
Gruce's points off the bench have been a big part of why Osage has been able to stay out in front in this game.
Jump pass for Kramer along with a shot. Tipped out in the corner. And again, there's that quickness and speed. Childs gets that loose ball, gets Gruce behind the defense. Lost it on the way up. It was touched apparently. Kramer didn't believe it. I didn't think so either, but the official was right there.
Got to give it to the guy who had the better angle. And that was the official.
And younger eyes and a lot closer. Looking for the inbounds pass. Comes all the way out to half court. Catching it on the run with Childs. Gives it up nicely. Reverse up and good from Gruce. And the lead back to 18 for the third time here in the second half. Ford trying to create, and he does. Had to lean out with his right hand, and a timeout called by the Dixon bench and Coach Ray. We'll take a quick break here. You're watching the Norm Stewart Classic.
Get ready, MediaCom is now.
Mobile?
Enjoy fast, reliable coast-to-coast coverage.
Really?
It's an unbeatable network, and we've got some unbeatable prices too. MediaCom Mobile. Shop online today.
Concession there. We're back now, and we're going to wrap things up here in this game. 68 seconds remaining. You see some of the Osage kids were able to get out of school as well. I saw a couple of the football players, a couple of good running backs that Coach Jolly had. And we see everybody else for Dixon in right now. So a little bit of a concession for Coach Ray. Down 16.
So you know you've gone deep into the roster when you're looking at it, and there's players with numbers on the floor that you don't have.
Whoops.
Trip Holzer wears number 0. He's on the floor for the first time. Rafen Baker wears 45 for Dixon.
And we don't have a number 2. That's one of the ones.
Or a 23. And any team whose uniforms are red and white should definitely have a 23.
Easton Hance is in the game. Yeah, 24 is the guy we're missing here. Okay. Sorry, we would love to identify him. For Osage, Luke Wolf is in. Also, Robert Dubbs, a junior. Trying to get everybody here.
Tyler Marshall
with just a little sidestep move and a bounce pass cross court for Dubbs. Up under the shot. Banks in, up and good. Luke Wolf.
6'3" junior forward gets into the scorebook.
And the lead at 18. I don't think they posted that last basket.
I don't feel like they did.
24 seconds remaining.
There it is.
Okay. And a lot of contact there, and the foul will go on Ethan Wall. Ethan, you got in the scorebook, buddy.
Told you next up for the Indians at home against Clinton on December 12th. Then they've got the 63rd annual Legends Bank Holiday Classic and the 94th annual Eldon Boys Basketball Tournament, which is one of the more historic tournaments in the whole state.
It is. That's a lot of fun. Worked that one for years and years and years.
How's the hospitality room?
The best. It is the best. It's crazy. I mean, you can't go in there without yourself up. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, here's resumption of play. Getting to the rim, shot won't go for young Mr. 2, number 2. Sorry, we can't say his name. Ball picked up. Got to shoot it, son. Shoot it. And it comes up just a little bit late. So Osage withstood a big run by Dixon there to end the third quarter and into the fourth quarter. They got it down to 8 after trailing 52-34, and then Osage just took control from that point.
Say some big three-point shots in the second half allowed Dixon to kind of close the gap to single digits momentarily, but unable to close and come all the way back in this one. And that means that the student section, small but mighty for School of the Osage, gets to celebrate here as we wait the MVP of our fourth game of the day.
So Osage, actually a big second half, 39 points. That's a good total. And trying to check this, 15-27 for Dixon. So Dixon suffers their first loss, and Osage continues their winning ways after losing a game at the Eugene tournament last week. Corey, good to see you again. And we're going to get the MVP, and they're going to go with Jackson Long.
Say, it really felt like it was kind of a great team performance for School of the Osage today. I think Jackson was probably maybe one of 4 guys that easily could have gotten that award today.
I would have looked, there was a lot of A played great.
Yeah.
Childs played, Harrison played really well. Northrop played well, but I didn't get a vote. I don't care. I have no problem whatsoever with Jackson Long knocking down those threes the way he was. That was a good game. Started slow, but, man, they really picked it up as it went along.
Yeah, slow start, but a great finish. Nice to work with you again, Mike.
Yeah, Corey, good to see you, and safe travels back to Springfield.
Thank you, sir.
Final score here once again, 69-51. Coming up next, School of the Osage ladies will take on the Fox Warriors in our next contest as we continue with coverage of the Norm Stewart Classic.